It's time for One-on-One with the Coach, brought to you by Nebraska Equipment in Seward. Eric Johnson with you, and we are in to the state football playoffs. Joining me is Coach K. Coach, first off, I would say, first off, congrats, but not the good vibe we were feeling coming into the state football playoffs, but we're in. I mean, that's the biggest thing, right?
Right. Yeah. It's always, good to be playing in the postseason. Still be playing football is always good. Our always goal is to be playing in November. So got to get this one first to get to November.
That's right. It's a path. However that goes is still a path for us. It starts 3 hours one way for us up in Hardington, Newcastle. The Wildcats coming in, but first and foremost, breaking down the matchup against Thayer Central. Of course, we all know we were going to be talking about it. Sourdike really was a star in that game, and any positives coming out of the Thayer Central matchup that you've seen that you like that you can kind of build on?
On offense, we actually outgained them yardage wise. We had a couple long sustained drives and what we need. So that was good to see. And at times, we were moving people and getting to formations that we wanted to expose, getting their sour dyke out of the box. But on defense, we had a couple stops. I mean, there's some breakdowns in there on play action and with the quarterback run. For the most part, we held Sam under 100 yards, which was big. But then what hurt us was the quarterback. I mean, the quarterback had some really long runs, some second play of the game, went for 50. So those are tough ones to swallow. We like to make teams earn it. Long play drives and that sort of thing. And especially at our level of football, sometimes teams will beat themselves with bad snaps, exchanges, stuff like that. So we've got to stop those, 2 to 3 play touchdowns and just got to tackle in space. We had a ton of missed tackles. We pointed out to the guys where we're just diving at tackles, that sort of thing. So we need to concentrate, and we focused on that this week. Another team that is multiple and has a quarterback that is the best, athlete on the field, very fast. So just trying to bottle him up and make him make cuts instead of just straight on, running straight down the field.
Yeah, I love your transition getting through Colheim's under helm there for the Wildcats. I mean, a shifty quarterback to say the least, a talented one. Probably not as talented as what we've seen with Sam Sourdike last week, but he can create some damage inside. Tell us a little bit about the tapes and what you've seen in the Wildcats.
Yeah, Coach Fuller, he has a lot of experience. He's a really good coach, and his system now that he's came to 8-man from 11, he really preaches getting guys in space, getting athletes in space. It's kind of a multiple offense. It's going to be empty backfield, a ton of motion, so a lot of jet sweeps and reads. The quarterback will decide, based on our defensive end's movement if he's going to give it or pull it. He's very dangerous when he does pull it, and it's kind of the whole field kind of is his oyster. He'll have it blocked one way, but he will cut back and he'll make you pay when you get out of position or don't stay in your rush lane. He definitely makes teams pay. I mean, they'll give it to, number 14 on their team is really fast. He has a lot of catches too and deep balls. And number 10, for an undersized kid, he is fast and plays really hard. So they present some challenges, a bigger offensive line as well. They got size. On defense, they'll play multiple fronts. If they're getting gashed, they're not going to stay in that defense. They're going to switch from a 4-man. They're going to be a 3-3, a 3-4, just a lot of different looks. So communication will be key. What we talked about, if we just get hat on a hat and get our assignments, that'll be key. No blown assignments and just give normal, great effort that we're accustomed to and expect. We should be fine on that side of the ball. But yeah, tackling will be huge tonight. Getting that one-on-one. If you're a blitz team that guy's got to make it because there's no help behind him. So yeah, we look forward to the challenge, an offense that we haven't seen anything like this year. Maybe just Thayer was probably the most similar, but there's just a back in the backfield with Thayer Central. So yeah, we'll just come prepared and a very winnable matchup. 5 versus 12. Not terrible when we first got it. I was kind of excited knowing this team a little bit, and yeah, we'll see what happens. Coach Fuller also has a lot of answers on offense. If you're doing this, blitzing this way, that way, he can't stay in it either because he's going to make an adjustment. So yeah, it'll be fun. New town for me, so that's always fun.
I was gonna say, yeah, we talked off air about it. We used to go back in the day over to Bloomfield, so instead of
Yeah.
going west, we're going east. But for Hardington Newcastle, they have seen a lot of the big beefy boys up there, the Bloomfields and all
Yeah,
that up in
Crofton,
that neck of
yeah.
the woods as well. So they've been tested to say the least, and I do agree. Theoretically, this could be another type of caliber Thayer Central size in regards, correct?
Yeah, they have a big guy. You look at their Crofton film, and they ran a lot of 4-man front, and Crofton did what Crofton does as far as playing in a phone booth and moving guys. Kind of wore them down in the second half, but Hardington does has their own size as well. Some bigger kids that can move, whether it's 74, number 40 is a big kid, number 9 is a good defensive end. They'll put 58 in as well, so it'll be a challenge. We want to get to the second level and make their linebackers tackle us. We've seen a lot of good defenses this year, and this isn't. It's a good front for them, but if we can just get to that second level and get to those linebackers, we should be okay. But ball security will be a big part of this game plan. Bloomfield had a really good game plan, and boy, about executed it. Just had some really bad, unfortunate, timely turnovers with a pick six and a couple fumbles that really hurt them. So yeah, they've been preparing probably all week to stop our run game, and we've been doing well moving people. So we just expect that tonight.
All right. So talking here with Coach K, head of our matchup, our travel time up to Hardington, 2 hours and 55 minutes, almost approximate. So a lot of fans are going to be listening in and, of course, watching in. They want to know, and I want to know too, the $20 question. What is the keys to a victory here tonight?
Yeah, I touched on it before, but yeah, but just making sure that we can tackle in space, getting Nate down and bottling him up, not letting him, get outside or get lanes inside. When he has to make a cut before the line of scrimmage, especially being in shotgun, that's kind of a win for us. But we got to have really good eye discipline as well. They'll pull different directions, things like that, and we got to stay on play action. Last week we lacked. That at times where we let our guy, our Reed, run straight down the field uncovered. So we just, need to focus on that on defense and playing fast and aggressive. We harp on, trying not to be as complicated so the guys can, play relentless football that we're accustomed to. And then on offense, we just got to move the ball. We need to get first downs, keep the ball away from their offense, and just do what we do. Run to the outside. We still have to have that inside run game as well, and then timely passes. We got to complete some passes. If you look at the Shelby Rising City game, we make a couple of those drops turn into completions. That's a whole different ball game. So we definitely need to just move the ball, take care of it, not have any dumb penalties, and stay on schedule. We need those second and fives. That'll get to third and one, and preaching to the players that everybody has to do their job, whether it's offense or defense. You don't do your job on offense, and it makes a second and 11. You're already off script there. So yeah, and then on defense, that discipline, in the third and fourth quarter, we're gonna have to have it when we get tired. You watch other teams that they lose their eye discipline or go to the wrong guy on this option game. It's just a horizontal option. It's just not straight ahead. So a lot of side to side stuff. And if you go to the wrong guy, don't do your assignment, makes for big plays. They make you pay. So yeah, we look forward to the challenge. Always excited to play football and to just play hard-nosed football, give great effort, and let it all shake out.
10:27 here to go in the first quarter. Motion and a quarterback keeper up the middle, goes to the left side. Hymas to the 5, and he is in. Touchdown, Wildcats. High formation set and option. Left side, Bartu catches it, runs with it. Does he ever to the 10, to the 5, and that's Wiggle the Hips is a triple K Ag touchdown for the Bobcats. Game over at this point, 26 seconds. And to think, coming in here after losing against Sandy Creek, after getting hit in the mouth at Thayer Central, both at home,
Yep.
we are 10 seconds away from moving on to the second round of the state football playoffs. 3 seconds to 1. My friend, your Bobcats and mine are moving on into the second round of the state football playoffs with the final score 50-20 over Hardington NewCastle. By Nebraska Equipment in Seward. Eric Johnson with you, and I'm glad Coach K listened to me. We're back at it again, another round of state football playoffs, and Coach K, first off, congrats. I mean, what a game on Thursday. Did you, first off, and I know this is a generic question, did you expect that high-powered back and forth to happen the way it did?
We had a couple of defenses in ready for their jet stuff and all the option game, which did really well. And then I think they had some bad snaps which we'd seen all year, so those kind of help quite a bit. And whether our nose guard, whether it was Spawn or Clues, but they caused those or help cause those when the center's worried about them so much. So yeah, it was we came out playing right away, which was good to see. I mean, they had a touchdown on like the second or third play, but that seems to be a reoccurring theme sometimes for us. But the guys didn't get down and kept going.
Yeah, and it was unfortunate that we had not only Aiden Vavra drop out, but Kramer as well. Which, by the way, we wish them both the best of luck. But I think as a total team effort, and I kind of said that too in the post game, that it was a total team win because just the right depth or the right passion behind it. We didn't falter, we didn't phase, and Hardington NewCastle all of a sudden just completely went full script, one dimensional, and I thought it was a total team effort, and it was honestly a nice drive up there for a good football Thursday night.
Yeah, they have my first time there, so nice school and facility and everything. They share the field with the Cedar Catholic out there. I don't know. I thought it was a good venue for football, and yeah, it was good to get out of there with the win and not end the season and be able to play football in November.
Exactly right. Some say an upset. Regardless, I thought that was a solid win. We move on in the second round, and nostalgia factor aside, it's Stanton, it's EMF. We all know the history from last year. Not the same teams as last year, but good. I kind of excited to have this matchup a little bit closer to home. We saved an extra hour, but looking at Stanton and between Pullman, Wilkie, and a few others on the Mustang side of life, tough team. Not as what we've seen last year, but a tough team nevertheless.
Yeah, they returned 7 of 8 starters, which is nice from a state championship team and a successful team. They've won 21 in a row. I believe they lost in the semifinals in 2022 to Clarkson Lee, which eventually won it. But yeah, they're healthy for the most part, and seems like they're hitting on all cylinders at the right time. They've played really good competition out of Summerlin, Plainview, Central Valley's a D2 team that's been number 1 all year in D2. So yeah, there'll be a challenge. They're doing similar things as last year. They're probably a little bit more spread out this year than they've been, and a little more QB run um, that we're going to see. Number four, he averages 204 yards a game, which is impressive, especially in some of the blowouts they have. He's sitting most of the second half. So yeah, we'll have to work on containing both those guys, and then they'll hit you with the play action when you don't expect it. They complete 4 passes a game on average, but they're all pretty big chunk plays when the defense is focusing on the run.
Now, I know you probably heard everybody from the outside in going, "Oh, holy moly, it's a matchup here. This is probably going to be a tough one indeed." Do you like this matchup? I guess my first off, did everything kind of fit the way it did? Do you like having this tall task ahead of you?
Yeah, I mean, we are where we are because of the regular season. We dropped a couple that I wish we wouldn't have. Some close games. So unfortunately, we're no choice kind of thing. And when you look at upsets in the first round, you know that we're going to get a tough team. I mean, the playoffs, you're going to get a tough team no matter what. Um, so yeah, it's either them or Sandy Creek. Yeah, probably Stanton. Just because Sandy Creek, we've played them. It's never fun to have a rematch, and Sandy Creek, they have that passing attack that makes it difficult to cover for wide receivers that are really good athletes. Not to say Stanton doesn't have that, but they're a little more run centric. And not quite as much team speed as Sandy Creek, but it's a familiar opponent, which is nice. So we'll know. We watched 12 games on them last year, so we've seen a ton of film on them, and they got 7 guys back out of the 8 from last year. So almost the same team personnel wise, but yeah, we'll we worked on things this week to give a couple different looks. Whether it's bring extra offensive linemen in and try to make it, an alley fight kind of thing, or spread the ball out and take advantage of a couple matchups.
Talking here with Coach K ahead of our matchup here tonight between the Mustangs and the Bobcats, round two, part two, in many ways as well. But uh, for Coach Stoddard, I mean, respect both sides. You guys are familiar with each other. Last week you said Hardington Newcastle was more like Thayer Central. What do you kind of give the vibe with Stanton this year? What kind of team mirrors them that we've kind of experienced in a while?
Yeah, no, they're a physical wing T team. They came from 11 man. They kept that wing T look minus the 3 guys, kind of like Crofton does as well. But they will throw probably more formations in than Crofton. But as far as like a similar team, it's probably like Shelby Rising City. They're going to run straight at you for the most part when they're in that wing T formation or any tight formation. But they will spread it out. They'll run some spread shotgun stuff and keep it with the quarterback and get yards on the edge. Our defensive ends just have to have a really good game control in that and turning it back inside, but then our backside has to pursue to be there. So, and their defense is similar. They have a bunch of different looks. Coach Peters does a really good job scheming on defense and having different blitzes, and he always brings pressure on 3rd and long. That type of thing, and you can game plan for it, but it's a little bit different in practice. Bringing one extra rusher compared to what they'll bring, but hopefully we just make good decisions and work on ball control, ball security. Obviously, don't turn it over. If we can get a couple stops, a couple turnovers, we can take advantage. Try to get them. Be nice early to try to get after them and see if we can get them just to panic a little bit, or maybe try too hard, sort of thing. Would be nice. So we're preaching on the guys to start fast, just so you look at other upsets, whether it's Loomis getting beat in D2 by a 16 seed last week, or Pleasanton getting beat by a 15. Those teams took it to them right away, whether it was onside kicks, with in Pleasanton's case with Santos Valley having 3 onside kicks in the first half that were successful. Kind of brought the air out of a team that's maybe a little bit more athletically gifted than the other team, and Sandhills Valley just hung on to 42-20 lead and played really hard. So it's the same thing. Tried to show some of the guys this morning some of that film and just show them how hard these guys play. They're not taking a down off. Whether it is your last game or the only way to be successful to beat, a higher rated team is to play hard. Passion doesn't come across on the stats, and it never will. So we'll see how it goes tonight, and hopefully they're just we're ready to go to play hard.